$1.7 million new CEO that has probably one of the biggest debts of any American corporation in the country, about when he could pay the money back. We're just not certain. We're not ever going to pay it back. Gangster, $9 million he took in a company that's still not stable. Gangster. Now he more likely should be the CEO of the Hair Club for Men. With your
Motors, yes, the company is out of bankruptcy. Yes, it is making money again. Yes, it is.
Now, how is it making money? It still owes the American taxpayer over $40 billion. Who's really making money? Dan Akerson, the Carlyle Group, people in Washington, Colin Powell? Who's really making money? It owes $40 billion and cannot tell you when they're going to pay the American people back the money. But it's
in electric and in fuel cell technology, that will play out. Some of that may not.
This will play out. Carlos Goss of Nissan, Renault France, sold the Leaf $10,000 less than the Chevy Volt. And they were a recipient of a $1.6 billion loan from Stephen Chu, Department of Energy, that's on the Auto Task Force. That's who we're competing with. And Dan knew this. Now we're going to
faster and be more competitive.
This guy doesn't even look like he can hardly walk down the hallway. How fast are we talking about? $50 billion bailout company has had 4 CEOs in 18 months. It's kind of like changing a tire in the middle of an earthquake. I want to be a CEO so they can put in big press relief. Akerson states, and I quote, "We need to be an attack culture, not a defending culture." And then he refers himself as a graduate of the U.S. Navy. Does that mean the U.S. Navy, as well as Colin Powell and anyone that can get a Chevy, condones and supports an assault on women and children, minor women and children, on a public sidewalk in Arizona in John McCain's country, which was fully aware of it, involving a handicapped child? An assault on another male, and hit another male, and it grabbed a woman by the breast? Is that the sickness of who GM is? That's not just the GLP, that's the Obama gangster. Because what I found out is, to hire a gangster, you got to pay big money, and you got to use bailout money, and you got to use taxpayers' money now to hire the big-time gangsters, because they want a lot of money for what they do. Where they assault and attack people? I guess he was referring to Mike Jackson's AutoNation. The GM dealership at the time of the meltdown was permitted to go out there as a GM salesman in front of our GM dealership and assault 3 minor children, one that was handicapped. Oh my God! And hit another guy that was 4 foot nothing, and hit a fourth gentleman. Well, their thesis now is attack culture. So I guess that means John McCain. But anyhow, we asked McCain to send this complaint to Danny Akerson to settle this. But because the Washington car pimp is the one that attacked us and everyone has to buy cars from him, McCain wouldn't do nothing for us. But then Danny Akerson is going to back him now. Danny Akerson is going to back him all the way. This guy is street trash garbage. Another corporate motherfucker. AutoNation. This is the actual owner of the dealership, the Power Chevrolet dealership in Peoria, Arizona, that permitted their salesman at one dealership to threaten and arrest us. The second was to assault us and attack us. This is the most evilest corp-owned piece of shit in Washington. Many CEOs have seen the video when car dealers attack. It's been posted into many other videos as well. He's the problem. He's the one that needs to go. And all his his executive offices stand with this piece of garbage. This is AutoNation. You see the guy in the middle? That's Wayne Hayazia. He's like a crater-faced garbage man that looks like a dwarf. He's the power structure. The pimp is to the right. That's Mike Jackson. They're not just perverted and sick, but they're completely ill-minded. That's who you are, Wayne, and that's the seed that you laid by your own son that lives and works in your company, too. Come and get me. Remember, I'm the guy defending the civil rights regarding the handicapped children, a homeless guy, and a sexual assault on DWS guy. Come and get me, Wayne. And there's that pimp to the right. He's smiling. Pervert. Bastard. CEO of AutoNation. AutoNation goes under many brands. It's the largest car dealership in America. They sell every brand. This is the guy that is the problem. But this is the pimp. This is the guy that goes into Washington and has got people on their knees giving them oral sex for leather seats and chrome wheels. That's who Mike Jackson is. He's a cheap pimp, and he's just basically a takeoff pimp of Wayne Hayazi in Florida. He's the problem. Washington car pimp. He can bribe you of any brand. When he goes to the meetings with Ron Bloom and Secretary Stephen Chu that's on the Auto Task Force, everybody gets knee pads, and they all get on their knees, and they have to give oral. Affiliated with John Elway. I think he got away with them. He realized they were cheap pimps and crooks and criminals. But here's the brand names that they go under. So the best thing I can tell you, if you're going to buy a vehicle anywhere in America and you come across these brand names, go steal a car. Risk going to jail than go on to buy a car from these guys. CEO of a company that borrowed $50 billion, still owes us $40 billion, refuses to tell us when the IPO is going to go on the market because it doesn't want to be responsible or committed because it's part of the Obama administration. Remember, I don't know where they groomed him. I think they groomed this guy in the bathroom in the handicap stall because anybody that would get on national TV and use the word attack culture. Well, I know he's referring to Mike Jackson's AutoNation. If children and women come in front of our dealership, you beat them up, and then you get people like McCain and U.S. Congressman Trent Franks and Brewer, the king of the racist people in Arizona, to roll with you. So anyhow, the GOP claims that they're responsible about all this enormous spending the Obama administration is. It's bullshit. If it rolls their way and it rolls to one of their gangsters, they're right there with their hand out. Because remember, when you gotta have a brand name and you gotta pay money for big brand name gangsters. And Senator McCain, you're shameful. You should have sent this complaint to Dan Akerson to do something, but you won't. You know why? You're just as shameful as a lot of people in the GOP and a lot of them people who think they're Tea Party activists. And another thing, Ron DeGelis, you're a joke too. You have AutoNation in Florida that was responsible for the civil rights attack. But keep in mind, they're the one that sells the most imports during the time when most of the American people were losing everything they had. Now, there were mom and pop dealerships across the country that were shut down for all kinds of reasons. 2- and 3-generation dealerships. But this dealership stayed open because I guess they were the ones that were supposed to do the assault for the import dealerships on American women and children. You talk about racism, I want you to look at all the people on this screen. This is the top management of AutoNation. Mike Power Dealership on 91st Avenue and Bell Road in Peoria, Arizona, where the attack happened, which pursued 2 more civil lawsuits pending in regards to this case. And this is where it happened. And there's your flag. But this is the guy that sells the most imports at the time when millions were losing everything in America. He's permitted to assault the women and children for all the import brands, right? Mike Jackson's AutoNation? Here comes John Gotti. Debbie, here he comes. Here he comes. Look over here on the sidewalk, over towards this way. Here comes Gotti. Oh my God. Here comes Gotti. Debbie, Gotti, you look on the sidewalk. Forget them. Here comes Gotti. Hey, aren't you the guy that works for John? He's over here. Forget them. Hey! Oh no! Oh, what happened? He's hit me! He's hit me!
Call the cops!
Film it!
911!
No, you didn't! You came right after me! You did that! You come right after me!
I tripped that! Tell her to do it! Tell her to do that! Tell her to do that!
Get on your knees!
Tell her to do that!
Did you get him, Debbie? Did you get him?
Did you see that? I tripped on
Get out there!
Oh my
He came after us! When they come out here and they charge me?
Can't do that, okay?
Oh, you mean your charge people? You mean Max? Let me see if I got this correct. Max is allowed to come out here and charge me on the sidewalk?
I don't know what happened, but
you don't?
do that, okay?
Okay. Now, Mr. Sales Manager, there's a lot of numbers on these signs. Why don't you call someone that loves you?
Peoria Chevrolet Power, Saturday, September 20th, 2008.
of a bitch, get away from me! Get it! Go! Oh man, he's sick!
God, look